Hello, and welcome to Butcher That Model. This is Dungeons and Dragons. Have we started? There must be a bit of a lag between this and YouTube. Oh, there we go. So, anyway, welcome, hello, and welcome to Butcher That Model. There you go. It's all new. This. That's that off. That's the sound off that. Right. I think we're ready. This is Dungeons and Dragons. Has anybody ever played Dungeons and Dragons before? Anybody? We'll see. We'll see. Yes, Dad. I know. We're going to show you how to do crafting things for Dungeons and Dragons, which is great because what it does, you can also transfer that over to diorama building. A lot of the techniques I'm going to teach you in here and show you about, you can use for diorama builds for model making. So let's put this to one side. That's me, by the way, not Dungeon Master. Dungeons and Dragons is played on the tabletop, very similar to Warhammer. Dungeons and Dragons was first, Warhammer was second. So let's get this, move this to one side. Right with that. So we'll show you basically how the game's played. I'm going to use, there'll be a bit of a lag because obviously the chat and what I say. Dungeons and Dragons is played using dice, and it's basically a story. You have the Dungeon Master, which is me, and I'm basically the narrator. You may have seen the books where it's a story, but you choose what happens because it'll say to you, you know, this outcome, go to page 57, or this outcome, go to page 23. It's basically the same thing. It's not my job. A lot of people think the Dungeon Master's job is to kill your players. It's not. That's just one of the perks. All right. So, how do we play Dungeons and Dragons, and how do we start making things? Let's have a think now. Now, I'm going to use you as a guinea pig. All right. This might be a bit laggy because of the. Are you 100% with us, Nat? Just type yes, Dave, in the comment. Go on. Yes, Dave. Any second now. Might have fallen asleep. So basically, let's say you're in a scenario. You're walking to town, and you walk through the park, and there's some teenage boys playing football, and one of them kicks the ball, and it heads right towards you. What do you do? Oh, well done, Nat. What do you do? So this football's coming flying at you. What are you going to do? She's going to answer any second. Any second. There's a bit of a lag between the chat. Oh, sorry, we can't do that. What can't we do? Catch the ball. You're going to catch the ball. Well done, Nat. So you got a choice now, haven't you? What you're going to do? You're going to kick the football. Are you going to throw it back to them, or are you going to kick it back to them? He's going to type. D&D is a bit like this because people think about what they're going to do for the next move. I'll keep you occupied. I'll pretend I'm playing piano. She's going to kick it back. Oh, Lynn's going to kick it back. Throw it back. See, that's basically what you're doing is I've started you off on a story. I've narrated it, and now you're carrying it on. It's exactly the same with Dungeons and Dragons. It's really good. Only we use things like dice as well. So Nat said throw it back, Lynn said kick it back. What I do as a Dungeon Master, I say, right, roll a d20, and on a successful roll, you kick the ball back to them. If you roll a natural 20, you kick the ball back to them, and it smacks the lad that kicked it right in the head. If you roll a natural 1, you went to kick the ball, miskicked it, fell flat on your bum, and everybody laughed at you. That's modern Dungeons and Dragons. See, it's a really good game. Once you get into it, it's a fantastic game. There's a lot more to it. There's sheets. You've got character sheets and what you attack things now and all that. So there's different ways of playing. You can play on very simply with a piece of paper, a pen, and some dice. And then everything I've described to you is what you call theatre. What we've just done then is theatre of the mind. You all imagined you're in a park and the balls come flying at Nat, and Nat's, you know, caught it and then kicked it back to him or thrown it back to him. You use what they call theatre of the mind. That's a great way of doing it, but I can't really do that with Thomas. Well, we didn't think we could. It's a different story. So I started to do, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. There's some fantastic YouTubers out there. People like Jeremy at Black Magic Craft, Bill, Wildlock Armories, fantastic, absolutely brilliant YouTube, fantastic, very, very clever people, the way they craft things, absolutely amazing. So I thought, well, I'll do that. So I spent 2 months making dungeon tiles, actually physically making houses and buildings and farmyards, so that Thomas didn't have to use theatre of the mind. It was a physical thing there on the table, and we actually prefer playing like that. It's a lot better. But you could just simply draw a map on a piece of paper. You know, just that way of doing it. What's this called? Have you thought of making an online game, Dev? Have you got an online group set up? We could do. Why, do you fancy a game, Carl? We could do that. Actually, there are people that do that. So what we're going to do today, we're going to make a dungeon tile. Now, I made the mistake when I started doing it of making loads of tiles, wooden tiles and stone tiles. So basically, you make the story as you go along. Well, sort of, Nat. There is a story in the Dungeon Master's head what he wants you to do. However, getting people to do what you want to do is totally different, because everybody goes off the beaten track and you end up like thinking on your feet a lot. But it's fun. It is good fun. So let's get back to what we're doing. We're going to make a basic dungeon tile. Now, like I said, I made the mistake of just doing wooden tiles and then stone tiles. And I've got up there on our shelf, up there, I've got a huge stack of dungeon tiles. Well, I could have done half as many if I'd have reversed them. Like this one's halfway through being made. Like Blue Peter style, here's one I made earlier. So let's make one. Ever so simple. This stuff, it might affect the white balance, it might go scatty in it, sorry. This is XPF, extruded polystyrene home insulation. Now, there's different stuff you can get. You could go to a craft store and you could buy foam board, which is basically the same stuff that's got paper on either side, and it's a pain in the bum to get off. Some of it's very easy to get off, some of it's a pain. I get this from B&Q. I'm not sponsored by B&Q. I just get this from B&Q. It comes in a 4 foot by 3 foot sheets, 8 in a pack for 17 quid, and it's lasted me one pack. I've still got one sheet left, and I've done more tiles than I could possibly use, basically. And I've made farmhouses, I've made fountains, I've made statues, I've made traps, and we'll do into all that later on in future episodes. I'll show you how to make spike traps and wall traps, and it's all good fun. It's all good fun. So let's make a dungeon tile. Now, the easiest way to do it is have a set figure in your head for sizes. 12 by 12 inches is the biggest tile I use, and then I use 6 by 6s and 6 by 3s and 6 by 2s. That way everything's modular, so you can put a tile down, and then when they get to a doorway you can put the next tile next to it. Once they've all moved, you remove that previous tile. So, ever so simple. But if you keep the same sizes all the way through, everything then becomes modular, and it makes it so much easier. So let's do a 3 by 6 corridor tile. Okay, so basically what you need: a pen, a ruler. Now I like to use one of these. This is a triangular diamond file. You'll see why in a minute. It's a fantastic tool. It's great. So I'll just quickly mark out what we want. So we want 3-inch wide and 6 inch long, don't we? So let's mark it with a pen. Now you want one of these. You don't want to use an X-Acto knife, a posh little, not going to do any good for this job. You need one of these cheap, nasty, extendable, and you want to extend it quite far because you want to go at an angle. You don't want to go, let's move it a bit closer. You don't want to go in one go, because that way you'll just end up ripping the bottom edge. So just light pressure, do it in 2 or 3 little sweeps. And you end up with a perfectly neat cut either side. So we don't need that piece now. We can put that to one side for later on. So we've got the base of what's going to be our tile. So on one side, we want to make it look like wood. On the other side, we want to try and make it look like stone. All right. So for stone, everything in the game is done, like your movement is done in feet. Each character has got a set number of feet his movement he can do in a move, normally 30 feet. So if you do your squares at 1 inch squares, it's so much easier then. You don't even have to measure. You can move 3 squares. It's that simple. It really is. When you're outside, if you're doing an encounter outside, then we use tape measures like you would do for Warhammer. But inside, if you do tiles, you don't need to bother. You can just, I can move 30 feet. You know, it's good fun. Right, so let's do a stone on this side first, because it's the easiest one to do. 2. Doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfectly neat, because remember, these are going to be or represent slabs outside in a courtyard or a castle corridor. Slide. Right, so we've got a couple of lines there. Now what I like to do is the diamond file, the triangular one. You just do a couple of passes on the line you've just drawn. It just defines perfectly. It's the white balance is not very good at this, is it, at the moment? It'll be better once we get some. When I show you some that have got paint on. I actually didn't cut this down, did I? This is actually 9 inches. We can use that because it's still a base 3. So let's do this 3b9. All right, so we'll just do 1 inch and 1 inch and 1 inch all the way down. Nice and simple. Simple, isn't it? Simple. Now, you might think, well, why do I want to know about D&D? Well, I build armor. Well, what's to say you can't use what I'm doing now? The same technique, the same idea I'm doing now, to put on the base of a picture frame for you to sit your tank on it that's sat at some courtyard. You see, it's not just about D&D. You can use this for dioramas. I know Philip, Primetime Model. He's doing a diorama with a building, and I said to him about, well, because he'd done the wooden structure on the inside of the building, and he'd used cocktail sticks, and I said, why don't you try this one, mate? And so we'll do that on the other side, the wooden bit. So once again, we'll just run through where we've been with a triangular diamond file, and that will give us a perfect grid, 1 inch squares. You see that? That's better. If I put it at an angle, you can see that then, can't you? Right, so we want to use this as a reversible tile. Now, normally what I would have done is just carried these lines down, painted it, and then that would be the, you know, my finished tile. So we don't want to do it. We want to half it. You don't have to be exact. Just get your file and then run it. Down the centre edge, down the centre of the middle. And that'll give you separation between the two pieces. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. You won't actually get it perfect unless you use a ruler. But you're not working with a very wide area. So that's now giving us a separation between the two. Now what you want to do is you want to try and make that look like stone. The way I haven't got any, what an idiot! I've thrown them in the bin. The best way of doing it is get a silver foil, baking foil that you wrap your Christmas turkey in. Rip a big sheet off it, screw it into a big lump, and then roll it. Like that, just roll it over the top of that. And what it'll do, it will put the indents in. So I'll do that later. The other thing you want to do is you want to try and distress it a little bit. So just get your pen and every so often start drawing cracks. No matter where you draw them, no cracks. Where you've got a join, get your pen and push it in. Make a lump, a little divot, and then radiate a couple of cracks out from it. Don't do it every tile because it then, believe it or not, it starts to look very silly and over the top. So end up with something like that. Alright, so now what we want to do, we want to reverse it. We're going to paint that later. Now wood, this is the fun part. Wood's the fun part. You want to make your floorboards about 1/2 inch. What kind of knife is that, Dave? Sorry, Lynn. It's a very cheap disposable one from a dollar store. You get like a pack of 5 for £1 over here. You know, they're just retractable. But if you have the blade out, you can have it at quite a steep, a shallow angle when you're cutting through. If we tried to do it in one big sweep, it would literally rip the bottom half of the foam, and it looks stupid. It would that. Very clicky. I must keep an eye on chat more. I'm concentrating on what I'm doing, and I'm not really looking at chat. I'll get better as we go along. I promise. I'll try to. So I don't usually do it this way. I don't usually do lives. I usually just film something and then edit. I'll film for like 3 hours and end up with like 40 minutes of thing I can actually put on. So, right. Oh yeah, floorboards. Right. We want to do these about a 1/2 inch width. All right. So basically, we're doing the same thing. We're going to use a pen, mark 1/2 inch. Okay. Now, if you're doing a diorama where you're inside a building and you want to do a diorama, say, with a sniper, this would be a perfect thing to use for the base for him to stand on or kneel on. Right, so just 1/2 inch all the way down. Right, and then getting our pen and just score the pen down. We don't want to go too deep because we're going to do a little technique in a minute. You like this technique? I was quite stumped about to do this at one point because if you could call it the correct way of doing this, would be to use a suede brush. You know, they're like a little brass, like a toothbrush really, quite a large toothbrush, but they're like copper or brass hairs, and you use them for cleaning suede shoes. That would be the best thing to use for this, but I haven't got one of them. So I thought, oh, there's an idea. Chris is probably sick to death of looking at these. Cocktail sticks. All you do, get a mitt full of cocktail sticks, right? Like that. Pretend they're chopsticks, and then literally scratch down your piece, but don't do it in a straight line. Give it a bit of a wobble. All right, and then you'll instantly see. Can I get that to? Can you see that? I've actually put the grain in the foam. When you come to paint that becomes very, very apparent. All right, so put the cocktail sticks away. Stick them up there out of the way for now. So, and then we'll carry on. We'll just do the measuring and get the boards down. So you want to be about 2 inches long on the board. So what I tend to do is do 1 inch, 3 inch, 5 inch, and this is 9, isn't it? So we'll do 7 inch. And then miss a board. And then do 1 inch, 3, 5, 7. Miss a board, and do the same again. 1, 3, 5, and 7. And what you want to do is don't join them up, just do that board width. Right, like that. Like that. It doesn't matter if it's quite irregular, because these are floorboards at the end of the day. They wouldn't be absolutely perfect. Right, and then what you want to do is the ones you haven't done, do it 2 inches. So 2, 4, 6, and 8. Missed the 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. And then the last one, 2, 4, 6, and 8. And then make them the full width of those boards. It looks a bit weird at the moment, but once you start getting paint on it, it'll all like, oh wow, that's cool. I like that. Ish. Hello, there's a knock at the door. Oh, it's my darling wife was so busy. Thank you, dear. Thanks, love. Oh, bless her cotton socks. Look, big bottle of Pepsi. Oh, love you. Right then, so we've got the basic outline of a floorboard. That looks like a wall. If you do it that way, it's just, you could use the same technique for doing a wall. What you want to do now is, where you've got every line, you want to just poke your pen in both sides of it. Once it's painted, it'll look like nails or nail heads. Very, very simple to do, and it really does make it stand out. Right, in true Blue Peter tradition, here's one I prepared earlier. Now this has had its first coat on. Are you following so far? Get lost, Lewis. Oh, Lewis, what are you doing? Hang on, I'm gonna have to read this chat, aren't I? Lewis is obviously getting on Nat's nerves again. For a country, Lynn, for a country that uses metric, Dave, we do and we don't, Lynn. Very, very. When you're constructing, we still use feet and inches. I know we have a metric system, but we still measure in feet and inches because we're like that. We're very traditional. And that uses feet per centimetres. What, Lewis? How has she not killed you yet? I really don't. Oh, and Scott's in. Hello, Scott. Right then. So, what have we done to this? Painted it, obviously, but not with paint that you think. Now, if I was to paint a dungeon tile in that stuff or that stuff, it'd be a bit of a silly waste of money, wouldn't it? You don't want to use, this is for miniature painting. This isn't for painting scenery. Okay. Get yourself to a craft shop, or get yourself to Wilkinson's or any Woolworths in the States, Wilco's, anywhere that sells craft paint, either like that, or get yourself to Wilkinson's or similar tester pots. That's what you want to use for painting scenery. Please don't use miniature painting paints, because it's not designed for that, and it will cost you an absolute fortune. I'll go and get it. Hang on a minute. Let me just get this. This was the farmhouse I built. Using XPS foam and cardboard. Now, if you were to paint something that large with your miniature paints, it will cost you an absolute fortune. To paint that cost me less than £4, and I've still got stuff left. So please, when you start doing things like this, oh no, Scott, one of the pigeons has fallen over. I'll have to glue him down later. So please don't use miniature paints to paint scenery and dioramas, because you'll just end up skint and upset. Get yourself to somewhere like I said, the Works, or anywhere that sells craft paints or tester pots for doing your lounge, and use that. But it doesn't end there. This is XPS foam. All right, it's very simple to damage, and it's not very tough. So what you want to do is you want to get your craft paint, and you want to get some of that. Just ordinary, bog standard, cheap, nasty PVA glue. Get yourself some empty pop bottles and do a 50-50 mix of PVA glue and craft paint. And that's what you want to use when you're doing scenery or when you're doing dioramas. All right, just mix it, 50-50 mix, shake the bejesus out of it. All right, and then what that'll do, because it's got the PVA in it, and in fantastic true Blue Peter tradition, here's one I made earlier. Okay, it will put a protective layer on the thing you're working on. All right, so basically your brown, put it on, and these are great party plates, paper plates. All right, now you'll notice the covering isn't fantastic. It's very opaque. You can see right through it. You're not really after the colour at this stage. What you're after is the protection the PVA is going to give you on the piece. You're slapping it on, and you literally are, like Ted would say, slapping it on. What's happening in chat? That house is beautiful. Oh, thank you, Nat. Thank you, Beth. Very nice of you. Thank you. It was actually really, really good fun to make. That farmhouse. Really enjoyed it. Took me about a week, wasn't it, Dad? About a week to paint that, to build it and paint it. It was immense fun. And when you work out the cost of materials to actually make something like that, it's so cheap. Amazing. If you want to buy something like that out of like MDF or something like that, it costs you a small fortune. Or resin. There's some beautiful things you can buy, resin, buildings and that, but just the cost is unbelievable. The details are amazing, but the cost is like amazing as well. And if you can make it yourself, why not? Have a go. By the time you've worked out the cost of materials, you know, the foam, it's foam and cardboard and craft paint. I mean, it probably cost me less than about £5 or £6 to make it, that was all. And it was fun. Absolute fun. Right, so basically all you're doing, just give it a quick paint, and obviously the other side just undercoat it black. And then I'll put that on one side. We'll put that to one side and we'll have a look at chat. My God, do you know, most of 3/4 an hour already. Blimey. Come quick, isn't it? Right, so basically we've got to that stage, haven't we? So what we want to do now is we want to try and make that look a bit better. And the way we do that is just using craft paint on its own without putting PVA in it. So we're going to put the paper plates. Paper plates. Paper plates are great. Fantastic palettes. Oh, any damage with dragon then. So I want that, and I want that, and I want. Where the was there? Shadow of my head then. I was like Fox then, I was holding it shadow of the head. Squidgy bit of that. Oh, I'll have to get some more of this soon. Hopefully the works will be open in a couple of weeks and I can get some more supplies. I'm running out of supplies. There's nothing worse or worse than running out of supplies. So who's run out of what? That's a good question. Who's run out of what? Since we've been in lockdown and you have to get older, you think, oh, I need that. Let's have a look, see what comes up in chat. I'm gonna be really naughty. I'm gonna let myself a cigarette. Oh my God, he's reading chat. What? Don't read the comments, so I can't see what I like. You won't notice. I will. I'm noticing, Dad. I'm noticing. You're supposed to be the responsible adult. That's why you got the mod. You and Chris, responsible adults. And Scott. Where is Scott anyway? He was in here a minute ago. There he is. He's not bleeding get away with it, is he? What? Why is it? Put users out. Oh, hang on. I'll have to sort that out later, Scott. Can I do it on here? Hang on. I'll find you in a minute, Scott. There you go. Aha! You're not getting away with it either. Ha! Just because I'm feeling that I'm, you know, my headache's gone and I'm in a good mood. There you go, Lynn. Actually, I know what I could do as well. Let me just scroll up this chat a minute. I'm reading the chat. Dirty, dexterous crafter. That's such a nice name for a YouTuber. I like that, Lynn. I like that. There you go. Now you can sort Lewis out yourself, love. All right. I'm out of time and sanity with Nat. Yeah. You do realise now, Lewis, that Nat is now a mod and she can kick your ass. You're welcome, Nat. Well, what else have we got in chat? So look. Can he go from? Oh, can he go from Mongols in? Hello, Jeff. What's it like in the States? You all right, mate? I really should read chat more, shouldn't I? But I'm new to this live stuff. I don't usually do livey things. When I settled down lead belcher, I had to pay 30. Oh, gee, chrono, man. name calls all her flood. I'm Lewis. Also, a lot of banhammers have just been unholstered. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. However, Mr. Stewart hasn't been on yet. I haven't seen Paul yet. Or Fox. But Fox is having, apparently Fox is having tinterweb troubles. So I hope your tinterweb gets better soon, Fox. Right, so there we go. There's the mods now. Lynn and Nat are now moderators. There you go. Pot kettle, Lewis. What? Need more pigeons. No, I'm fine. I've got enough pigeons, thanks, Dad. You didn't hear the story of the pigeons, did you? Would you like to hear the story of the pigeons? Now, my so-called friends decided that because I was doing lots of D&D stuff, making all these buildings and doing all these fancy statues and things like that one, making all these fancy statues for D&D scenery and all that lot, that I needed some pigeons. So they bought me some. These ones. Pigeons. That's nice, isn't it? A box of pigeons. No. They bought me 3 boxes of pigeons. I've now got over 100 pigeons. What am I supposed to do with over 100 pigeons? Oh, now there's a thing. I wonder if they've got a pigeon racing truck. Have you seen the pigeon racing trucks? They don't race the pigeons with the trucks. These trucks have got like cages inside, and they pull a lever and all the doors open, all the pigeons fly out at once. And they got these. I don't understand pigeon racing. I really don't. Strange people, pigeon racers. I wonder if there's a model of a pigeon racing truck. I can just have pigeons flying out of the blooming thing. Stay on wires or something. Northern pigeons aren't cute. Pigeons are flappy rats. I'm sorry, but a pigeon is just a flappy rat. What? Because no, Lynn, they're just horrible creatures. They're just flappy rats. They're not nice animals at all. Not one bit. Right, so let's we get on some paint in this. Right. The other thing you don't want to do, this is a good tip for you, is this. This is a miniature painting brush. You don't want to use it on this. The miniature painting brush. Just wash this one off. This, on the other hand, is a very cheap brush from the Works in the UK. You can get any dollar store, any pound store will sell bags of brushes for next to nothing that are perfectly adequate for doing scenery, dioramas and scenery work with. Please don't use your decent, expensive brushes. On something like this, just get yourself some cheap oval, especially when you're using the stage before, when you were using paint and PVA glue mixed. Brushes don't last very long when you start using mixtures like this. So don't use your posh, nice. Oh, look at the point on that miniature painting brush. It's not designed for this job. Cheap, nasty, horrible, throw them in the bin when you finish brushes. No ideal for this job. So we'll give that a nice thick coat of brown craft paint over the top of the brown PVA paint. And that's looking all right already. And all we've got to do later on is when that's dried, is we can use some other cheapy craft paints, different shades of browns, and then just dry brush it. And because you've textured it with doing the cocktail stick thing, you'd be surprised at how beautifully How nice is that? Oh, the dry brush paint. I've lost it. Where have I put it? Where's it gone? It's here somewhere. Trust me, it does. It looks really nice when you've done it. So I have to set outside, leave that dry. I could do the same on the other side. Do the black, I suppose. What we're doing now. Make Paula mod. No, I'm not going to make Paula mod. No. What would be the fun in that? In making Paula mod? There'll be no fun in that. If I leave Chris as a mod and Paul not being a mod, you see where this is going, don't you? Yeah. Payback tempo. Oh, he's there, look. Hello, Paul. Hi, Paul. Bye, Paul. Yes, yes. I waited so long to do that. Oh, that felt so good. Oh, it really did feel good. Thank you, Paul. Love you. Oh, that really did. Oh, I broke out in a sweat. Oh. Right, where did I put that? I've got some black somewhere. There we go. Just some black craft paint. Let's squeeze a bit on there. Now, if it was Paul, he'd just gone straight on his cutting mat. I could never do that to a cutting mat. That's just like sacrilege. I mean, mine's filthy already. It's general dirt and I'm a messy bugger. But have you ever seen, honestly, have you ever seen Paul's cutting mat? It's a work of art, I must admit. It is a work of art on itself. It's like the Picasso of painting mats. So then we'll just leave that to dry now. And then later on, I'll give that a bit of a dry brush. And instead of having now, if you do it this way, if you want to play D&D, and you think, oh, you know, that's nice, I'll have a go at that. Do like I've done there, just do the reversible tires, and it just halves the stack you got to store. Oh dear. God dear. You know, I don't know where that slid to. Finished one. And obviously with the stone tile ones, what you do is you do the same effect. But in between, if you just use a tiny bit of PVA glue and some flock and just make it look like it's got moss growing in the cracks. Really simple to do. Really is. Ever so simple to do. Looks fantastic when you're gaming on the table. And it's dirt cheap. You can't go wrong, can you? You really can't go wrong. Dirt cheap. Right. Is Paul back yet? I don't know how long the timeout lasts. Sorry, Paul. I don't know how long it lasts. Oh, block for 5 minutes. Oh my goodness. I've got to keep going for 5 minutes. Oh no, I can do that, can I? Can I do that? No, I'll do it on here, can't I? Where's he gone? Where's Paul gone? There you go. I've made Paul a mod now. I can't, just says that I can't do it again to him. I just wanted to do it the once. That was just the once. Oh, you know, I'm having such a happy day now. It's been great. Why is my phone's pinging like mad? Who's pinging my? I bet that's Fox getting revenge, isn't it? Is that Fox getting revenge because I didn't turn my phone off? Yeah, no, it's Paul and Dad. Note to self, turn phone off before doing live streams. You'd think I'd learn, wouldn't you? The amount of times I've done it to Fox, and then I end up doing it to myself. No, I've turned my phone off. Turn off, you stupid phone. There we go. Oh, for goodness sake. There we go. Right, so anyway, I've been going an hour. Blimey, I was only going to do a little hour. So that's how you, anyway, that is how you make a D&D tile. It's that simple. It really is. It's that simple. It looks amazing when you join them together. I think what we'll do next time is we'll do, I'll show you how to do walls, because then you can use that. You can transfer that over to diorama building as well. Walls are good. Walls are good. The secret with Dungeons and Dragons is you don't want to build big walls. You only want to make a representation of a wall. It's only about 2 or 3 inches high and one that will fit on the side. But the thing with walls is you can then make clip-ons, and that's another. A clip-on is a great thing. Very clever idea. I think that was, I can't remember who came up with that idea. I'm not sure. But it's a fantastic idea. I know Jeremy does it at Black Magic Craft. He uses them now, and Bill at Wild Up Games uses them. But it wasn't those two that did it. It was somebody else. And it's a very long time ago. So it's somebody from way back that started doing D&D stuff a long time ago. Oh, so let's have a quick look at chat before we say thanks for watching. And don't forget as well, later on today at 9 o'clock tonight, Ted is doing another live stream. Whether he's sober or whether he is slightly sozzled is anybody's guess. But I must admit, it was very funny last week. So hopefully you'll all come along tonight and watch Ted at 9 o'clock on Skipper Scale Modelling. Skippy Ted. Because it was... Did anybody not see it last week? Who saw it last week, Ted? I honestly thought he's going to leave. He's trying to get out of his man cave and he's going to fall down the loft ladder. And that's going to be the end of Ted. What's Lewis saying? I've got my own spanner on here. Oh, now it's a spanner. All right, okay. Why has she not killed you yet? I'll never know. You must have the patience of a saint, Nat. You really must have, honestly. Let's have a look at the chat. Looking good. Oh, thank you, Carl. Thanks, mate. Paul, revenge. As if I get revenge on Paul. Only the once. Only the once. That was glorious. There we go. Anyway, so don't forget, 9 o'clock tonight, Ted's channel. Next week, I'm off. I'm off Thursday and Sunday next week, I think. So I may do another one on Thursday, next Thursday. I may do another, I don't know. I'll see how I feel. I'll definitely do another one next Thursday for you, and we'll do walls next week. So thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being patient with me. My first ever live stream. And I've got quite a few videos on my YouTube channel. Patience of Saturday. Oh my God, Lewis, one day you'll learn some. One day. I've been married for 22 years. Dad's been married for a lot longer than me, and we'll all tell you that once you've learned the term "yes, dear," your life will be so much easier. Honestly, just learn the phrase "yes, dear," and life will be great. Trust me on this. Anyway, thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week. And don't forget, there's a nasty bug going around, so wash your bloody hands, all right? And other bits and pieces, some of you, all right? And we'll see you in Ted's stream tonight. Bye.